Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. I am here with Foxtrot Juliet Bravo right there, the coach,
Right.
John Brent.
And I'm here with the vet, Mr. N. Griffin. I have my Father John Bachman shirt on. How's it going? Father John Bachman or Free John Brent or something like that.
Foxtrot
I don't know
Juliet
what that
Bravo.
really stands for. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah,
So.
I've seen a lot of people. I saw a truck.
Are we talking about the President Joe Biden today, though?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
We are talking. We are talking about the Inflation Reduction Act.
That's the new Green Deal Act.
Kind of. So he came out on TV and he said, he told us all the great things, and then at the end he told us, all the Democrats voted for this to help you have cheaper medicine, but all the Republicans did not. And all the Democrats voted for this for green energy, but all the Republicans did not. He went down like that. But what he forgot to tell you is, well, there's some people in the IRS that's going to get paid, and there's a whole lot more people there, and they're going to get in your
If you
Wheaties.
make less than
and,
$400,000 a year, they're going to start looking at you more and more and more
Yeah,
now.
well,
87,000 suckers.
So it's supposedly only affect billionaires, but I listened to Dana Perino, and she says people under 400K are 5 times more likely to be audited now.
Right.
5 times. I'm like, 5? What the flip-flop is that?
And also, we have an issue right now, not 4 and 5 and 10 years in a row, with high gas prices, high natural gas prices, and all these things. And then right off the bat, we're putting a 16-cent tax on gasoline.
Yeah, we are, and then it's gonna, and it takes effect. It takes effect in October, 'cause that's when the fiscal year is. So and then remember he put a freeze on the gasoline taxes, so it's gonna, when that lifts up, it's gonna double pop.
Double pop. That's
yeah,
what.
and then but it's the Inflation Reduction Act, of course, because nothing trickles down. Businesses have already come out. The old businesses have already come out, and they said it always affects the consumer. Any form of legislation, no matter how they want to sugarcoat it, smoke and mirrors, it always affects the consumer.
I've never understood this. I teach economics. I've never understood when a liberal says we're going to raise taxes on corporations or on businesses, and it's not going to affect the consumer, because every single business is open for a profit, and there's a profit margin. And if supplies go higher, or goods get higher, or natural resources go higher in price, that is always passed along to the consumer.
Yeah.
And it always will be passed along.
The consumer fits the bill.
Yeah.
It always does. It always has, no matter how you want to say it. So you can say that, hey, well, we're not really taxing them. Yeah, you're just making your inflation double, numbers double even more,
Yeah.
And so what do you do when you have high inflation? Let's have a spending bill. That makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, or let's print more
That's
money.
like putting your hand in a blender. Like,
Yeah.
can you hit go? Let's just test it out, guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. And so let's talk some numbers here,
do
because
it.
I think there's some numbers that are worth listening to, since this is an Inflation Reduction Act. So if I highlighted it in pink, those are billions, not millions. So the IRS gets $3.1 billion to use between now and September of 2031. That's which can be determined by the commissioner. They get another 45.6 billion, and then they get another 25.3 billion, and then they get another 4.7 billion.
My math is not the greatest, but it's about $80 billion.
It's a lot of money. And then on the next page, I barely highlighted the yellow, because the yellows was only millions, because we just got those tossed
hundreds of
around.
millions.
And then there's another 403 million. That's close to half a billion. There's another 100. There's another 153 million. And then there's, hey, we got some chump change here, just 50 million. That's all for the IRS.
Yeah.
But hey, hold on. Let me see if I can do it now. All my comrades that wear the D voted so you could have cheaper health care. But all the Republicans didn't.
Right.
Because they didn't have a beef with anything. They just didn't want you to have cheaper health care. No, they had beef with this Mox Nix bull crap right here. And then, that's not the only thing, but that's the major hurdle, because now they're going to audit the heck out of people. And think about this, and great points were brought up about this, was when you audit people who are less financially stable, and I say, well, we're not really taking money from them, we're just auditing them. When you do that, they can't afford the lawyers to fight back. Where the billionaires are like, Don, handle that. Jim, handle that. Go get them out of my face so we can make money.
And years ago, when I owned a small business, I was actually audited. And what you have to do is, it's not just, they send you when they audit you, they send you a new bill, and you have to pay it by a certain day, or
They freeze your assets.
either that, or they're going to add penalties and interest and all that. So the only thing you can do is hire an attorney and set a date, and you go into their office, which our office, I was in Mount Pleasant, had to send my tax attorney at the time all the way to Texarkana on my behalf. And all they did was explain why they was going to charge that to me and said I needed to pay it. Mm-hmm. Never really gave us an explanation of why it was different than the year before, but because they said to, we had to. Now, if I wanted to fight that, it was going to cost me $300 to $350 an hour for an attorney to go fight that as just a small business owner.
And
This was in 2001, 2002.
So it's probably about $5,000 an hour.
Right now, for Texas, I guarantee you it'd be $750 to $1,000 minimum.
Yeah.
So that normal people that make 80, 100 grand a year, they can afford that, right?
Yeah. Okay. So
Just like we can afford these new cars, they're gonna give us this rebate.
Yeah,
on.
yeah. But hey, you can get up to 7,500 knocked off
If you spend 70 grand.
with a tax incentive. Yeah, you're allowed to get altogether 7,500. So then there's some other ones here, and the United States Geological Survey, gets 23 million for some reason. The Department of Interior Oversight gets 10 million. The Department of Energy gets 115 million.
So how
100 million,
How are we killing
150
inflation?
million?
How are we bringing inflation down by giving money to departments?
I don't know, because somehow they got to pay for this. But what they said was the IRS will draw some revenue because they're going to get some more money back. So
I'm not the
off
smartest
of
guy
whom?
in the world.
Off of whom?
I know, but I'm not the smartest guy in the world. But if you wanted to help inflation, how much is that bill?
Oh God, it's insane. I don't have
Is
the
it
total price.
1.6 trillion?
No, it's not trillion, but
Okay.
it's like 80.
800 billion?
No, I don't know.
I think it's 800 billion.
It's insane though.
You just don't spend that.
Yeah.
That would help inflation more than
We just
spending.
stop that. But so I have here the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund.
Here we go.
7 billion, 11.97 billion, 8 billion. Oh, hold on, only 300 million. Only 30 million. And then I got a whole bunch of other millions in here too. Well, no. And
This
then,
is from Pastor Mayor Pete's department,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like he
yeah.
said, everybody go out and buy that $50,000, $60,000 vehicle. We give them a little $4,000 or $5,000 off. Who's gonna charge it? We're already having electric issues here. Do I have to install one in my house? Or
I don't know.
is there one in Tyler that I know about?
so check this out. Environmental and climate data collection.
Okay.
32.5 million.
What?
I don't understand that. What do? We put a trail cam out there and watch some shit. Come on. Let's get serious. Or we send a survey
Hey,
out to the birds.
they should let
Come on,
redneck
man.
put-
Let's don't do this shit the hard way.
Ian, they could put a redneck out there with a deer cam.
I know.
The same thing.
And-
$29.99.
and all they have to say is this: you get a free year of hunting how you want, and he would freaking count every animal
I
there
guarantee
is.
for $49.99 he can
He
rig
would
it up.
count every animal there is. I promise
And
you.
when I say $49.99, I mean $49.99.
yeah, I agree.
Not $49.99 million.
Are you just telling him he can hunt for free? It would be done.
Or he gets 2 more deer tags for the year.
Oh my gosh.
He's putting them all over the
He
place.
would
for you.
count every animal that there is out and
One more doe, 1 more buck in the freezer.
Yeah,
He's doing
he's
whatever.
good.
We just saved $150 million.
I know. So then you had the Neighborhood Access and Equity Grant Program.
Wait a minute.
What is that?
I need to know.
I don't know what that is.
Well,
but it's 1.8 billion.
Well, I'm sure it's because white man is bad.
It's
'Cause
1.8
something.
billion.
Okay.
So tell me what this is here. The Department of Homeland Security Office of Chief Readiness Support Officer, he gets to have $500 million to do what he needs to do. in
Homeland
life.
Security, what?
Readiness Support Officer
So
gets
we're ready.
$500 million
So you
at
need a
his
half-
disposal
We need Pat Mahomes money just to be ready.
just to be ready.
Okay.
Just for the guy. Hold on, that redneck deer guy that's going to count for $49.95.
Yeah.
He just got him a degree or something, and now
I'm
he's
telling
counting
you
for
right now.
half a billion.
Have you ever seen? Okay, I'll tell you something. Deer season's what? November.
Yep.
Okay. Have you ever seen?
Well, October for both.
Okay, October. Have you ever seen about 2 weeks before deer season at some redneck's house? That's readiness time.
They are
They
ready.
check tires, they clean guns,
Yep.
they get the tents ready, they get everything. They going out to the deer lease 3 or 4 times, getting corn ready. That's readiness, and they do that probably on $1,500.
Okay, so now I'm going to throw one more out here. And this in here, I'm just asking, didn't we just go through this? The United States Postal Service Didn't we just do something for the United
I
States
mean, it's
Postal
what,
Service?
60 cents for a stamp already?
Yeah, but didn't we just do a bill just like a year ago that we said, hey, we helped the United States Postal Service. The United States Postal Service Clean Fleets program, 1.29 billion, and then 1.7 billion for the clean fleets. So they're going to run
So that's
electric.
$3 billion.
$3 billion to run electric vehicles is what they're going to do.
And that's going to save us money?
Yeah,
Or that's going to save the planet when China and everybody else is not giving a crap?
yeah, exactly. Or, strip those.
Well, we sure want to live in a utopian world to feel good, don't we? We'll just spend everybody else's money.
Yeah, and so I'm going to quote Dana Perino, who was on the
Please.
five. Basically, they and this came from. Basically, they're trying to audit the poor to pay for the rich electric vehicles.
Thank you.
That's what they're doing.
Say
Because we
that
can't
one more
afford
time.
them.
Say it one more time.
Basically, they're trying to audit the poor to pay for the rich.
Right, because if you've got
Electric
100
vehicles.
million people that have been let's say get an average of $2,000 back, but you can reduce that to $1,800 instead because of this, and this, and nitpicking and changing something, then we can pay this $4,000 and $5,000 of vehicles, pretty much. What you said.
So I don't have a problem
Do
with.
you know anybody that can afford, that's poor, a brand new $50,000 to $70,000 vehicle?
No.
Do you know where those people go buy vehicles? And I hate to say it this way. They go to your tote and your note lots and pay $1,200 down on a vehicle that's 10, 12 years old, so they can pay $300 to $350 a month because that's all they can afford.
And if their credit's not good, they go to the ones where they're paying 18 to 28% credit.
If they're lucky.
If they're lucky. And when you go there, they'll tell you, you'll say, hey, I want to buy your vehicle. And I said, I'm going to pay cash. And they're like, oh, no, we want to loan you.
we don't even
We only deal with loans.
Exactly.
And there's a reason behind that because they're raking people over the coals that's the only thing they can afford. And so you think that they're going to be able to go out and buy Teslas? I mean, honestly, come on now. And so anyway.
I'm telling you, let me say this before we get through with this. There is this utopian feeling that if you just wish it, it will happen. This is not Kevin Costner, you build it and they will come. This is not that you put it in place and all these magical vehicles and grids and green it's just going to make everything better. And all of a sudden China and all these other places, Russia, are going to, let's get on board and let's save the planet.
Yeah, not only that is you're in one of the
heard.
most populated countries in the world. I mean, and so you expect to be able to do things that you can do in the island of
We
Grenada.
have a gentleman right here that is taking orders from a very, very progressive, socialist, Marxist type mentality to do whatever he can to keep them in power so Republicans aren't in power.
It's a shame because
It is.
of this Inflation Reduction Act, who's going to pay for it is
Middle to lower class people.
what I've written about a lot, the forgotten man, which is the middle class person. And the
And
lower
people
class.
wonder why they wanted that crazy, mean, tweeted orange man.
Yep, because he didn't do this crap.
I'm not a supporter of him, but I can see where he would come in at a time like this and people go, at least give me hope, be normal.
Yeah. So with all that, we're stuck with it, guys, because he signed it. So anyway, it's a 2030 freaking
Midterm,
one.
get your butt out and vote.
Yep. So for the coach,
To the vet.
stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned.